Hello students, let's continue with the lesson The Necklace Part 2. As you have seen in Part 1 how Mathilde lost her necklace and how the couple was in distress. Now, they looked in the folds of her dress, in the folds of her cloak, in her pockets, everywhere, but they could not find it. In the folds of her dress means then in her dress they searched in the folds of her cloak. Now, what is a cloak? It's a type of a loose coat without sleeves which was worn in former times. Former times means in past times. Are you sure you still had it on when you left the hall? He asked. Yes, I touched it in the hall at the ministry. But if you had lost it in the street, we would have heard it fall. It must be in the cab. In the cab means in the car which they came. Yes, that's probably it. Did you take this number? No. They stared at each other, stunned. Stunned means they were shocked. At last, Loisel put his clothes on again. I'm going back, he said. Over the whole route we walked and see if I can find it. He went again to the same route to find the necklace. He left. She remained in her ball dress all night, her mind blank. She was completely blind. Her husband returned at about 7 o'clock. He had found nothing. He went to the police, to the newspapers, to offer a reward, to the cab companies everywhere. The tiniest glimmer of hope led him. Wherever he found that there's a positive way, he went over there and he searched for help. She waited all day in despair at this frightful desire. Despair means at this terrible situation. Loisel returned in the evening, a hollow, pale figure. Hollow, pale figure means his eyes were sunken, his face was tired, and he was in a very scared form. You must write to your friend, he said. Tell her you have broken the clasps of her necklace and that you are having it mended. Means you have broken the clasps and you have given it for repair. It will give us some time to give her back. She wrote as he dictated. At the end of 1 week they had lost all hope, and Loisel, who suddenly looked aged, declared, we must consider how to replace the jewel. So after a week there was no hope, so they decided that we have to replace the necklace. In a shop at the Palais Royal they found a string of diamonds which seemed to be exactly what they were looking for. It was worth 40,000 francs. They could have it for 36,000. So they begged the jeweler not to send it for 3 days, and they made an agreement that he would take it back for 34,000 francs if the other necklace was found before the end of February. Loisel had 18,000 francs which his father had left him. He would borrow the rest, and he did borrow. He gave notes, made ruinous agreements. Now, what is ruinous agreements? It's a form that will cause a great harm. Dealt with every type of money lender. Then he went to get the new necklace and let down on the jeweller's counter 36,000 francs. When Madame Loisel took the necklace back, Madame Forestier said coldly, you should have returned it sooner. I might have needed it. The Madame Forestier told her that you have returned it very late. You must have given me before, as I would need it. From then on, Madame Loisel knew the horrible life of the very poor. Now, what is the meaning of horrible life of the very poor? Horrible life of very poor means the people who live below the poverty line. They have to suffer horrible things in life. Even the basic necessities like food, water, clothing, and shelter are not available. Even a single day or more than a single day, they have to go without meals. But she played her part heroically. The dreadful debt must be paid. She would pay it. They dismissed their maid. They changed the lodgings. They rented a garret under the roof. What is the meaning of garret? Garret is a very small and uncomfortable room at the top of the house. She came to know the drudgery of housework. Drudgery means hard work. The odious labors of the kitchen. Odious means very unpleasant. She washed the dishes, the dirty linen. She carried the garbage down to the street every morning and carried up the water, stopping at each landing and to catch her breath, and dressed like a commoner. Right from the ground floor, she had to bring water on the top of the house. She used to stop each floor, and it was very tiring. She had to bargain at markets, quarrel, and face insults over every miserable sou. Every month they had to pay some loans, renew others, get more time. Her husband worked extra every evening doing accounts for a tradesman, and often late into the night he sat copying a manuscript at 5 paise a page. And this life lasted for 10 years. At the end of 10 years they had paid off everything, even the interest. Madame Loisel looked now very old. Often she brooded over the past. Brooked means she thought very sadly about the past. What would have happened if she had not lost that necklace? How strange life is, how fickle, how little is needed for one to be ruined or saved. On one Sunday, as she was walking in the saw Elise. Suddenly she saw Madame Forrester, still young, still beautiful, still charming. Madame Loisel felt emotional. Should she speak to her? Yes, of course. And now that she had paid, she would tell her all. Why not? Now she thought I would talk with her as we have already paid for the necklace. She went up to her. Good morning, Jeanne. The other, astonished to be addressed so formally by this common woman, did not recognize her because her structure, her body figure, her dressing style was totally changed. She stammered, "But, madam, I don't know. You must have made a mistake." Jeanne did not recognize Mathilde. "No, I am Mathilde Loisel." Her friend uttered a cry. "Oh, my poor Mathilde, how you have changed." "Yes, I have had some hard times since I last saw you, and many miseries, and all because of you." "Me? How can that be? You remember the diamond necklace that you lent me to wear to the ministry party?" "Yes, well, I lost it." "What do you mean? You brought it back?" "I brought you back another exactly like it, and it has taken us 10 years to pay for it. It wasn't easy for us. We had very little, but at last it's all over, and I'm very glad to return it to you back." Madame Forestier was stunned. Stunned means she was very shocked to hear all these things what Mathilde had said. "You say that you have bought a diamond necklace to replace mine?" "Yes." "You didn't notice then? They were very similar." And she smiled with proud and innocent pleasure. Madame Forestier, deeply moved, took both her hands. "Oh, my poor Mathilde, mine was an imitation. It was worth 500 francs at most." Imitation means it was not a real diamond necklace. It was only for 500 francs at most. So, in the beginning, in the summary, I told you that the conclusion is the story tells us that one must be always be satisfied and contented in his life with whatever he has. Also, you should never hide the truth. In this story, Mathilde Loisel faces a very hard time as a result of her desires. Now we will discuss the question answers of part 1 and part 2. We'll just go back to the question answer part. Why was Mathilde married to a minor or official? She was married to a minor official because she had no means of becoming known, understood, loved, or to be wedded to an aristocrat, and so she let herself marry a minor official at the Ministry of Education. Why did Mathilde weep with misery after visiting a schoolmate? She wept because her schoolmate Jeanne Forestier was a very rich lady, and she lived a very luxurious life which Mathilde was missing. So she wept. What did the envelope held? The envelope held an invitation to a party at the house of Ministry of Education. Was the husband a considerate person? How do we know that? Yes, Loisel was a considerate person. How? He gave his 400 francs which he had saved as he was going with his friends to a outing. For what? He had saved 400 francs to buy a gun. Why did Mathilde go to her friend's house and tell her of her distress? She went as she did not have any jewel or any good stone to wear and go to the party. What did Madame Forrester's large box contain? Madame Forrester's large box contained some bracelets, pearl necklace, and a beautiful diamond necklace. Which sentences tell us that Mathilde greatly desired the necklace? See, children, students, here it is. Then she asked, anxiously hesitating, "Would you lend me this? Just this." This is a line which showed her desire for the necklace. Why did Mathilde not notice the loss of her necklace earlier? Because she was enjoying the dance widely with passion. She forgot everything in the triumph of her beauty and success, floating in the cloud of happiness. So she did not notice the loss of her necklace. Okay, now part 2. What efforts did Loisel make to find out the necklace? Loisel looked in the fold of her dress, in the fold of the cloak, in her pockets, and everywhere. And at the end, he went to the police, to the newspapers to offer a reward, to the cab companies, and everywhere to the tiniest glimmer of hope which led him. What was the agreement with the jeweler? Do you think it was fair? They made an agreement that the jeweler would not sell it for 3 days, and he also said that if he would take it back for 34,000 francs if the other necklace was found before the end of the February. It was not fair. Why did Madame Forestier speak coldly to Mathilde? Madame Forestier spoke coldly because she had returned the necklace very late. What is meant by the horrible life of the very poor? I had explained you before when I was reading the lines. Horrible life of very poor means people who live below the poverty line. They have to suffer the worst and the horrible things in life. Even the basic necessities like food, water, clothing, shelter are not available, and they have to go without food for a single day or more than a single day. Why did Mathilde decide to speak to her friend? At last, Madame Loisel felt very emotional, and she thought that at the end they had already paid for the necklace, so it was good to talk with her and not to hide anything. Who do you think was responsible for Mathilde's misery? Was it her friend, she herself, her husband, or the circumstances? Mathilde was responsible herself.